From the Standing Stone Farm Studio right outside downtown Nashville, it's time for the most ridiculous sports podcast in the world. So sit back, relax, and listen as Bobby Butler and Brandon Bond crack open a cold one and talk all things hockey, pop culture, and complain about everyday situations. It's the Pucks Out Podcast on the Penalty Box Radio Network.
Welcome into the show. I'm Bobby. He's Brandon.
Hey,
you can find us on the three majors of social media at Pucks Out Pod. Now let's crack open this cold beer and let's get after it, buddy.
Moving a little slow today, bro. We just got back from the mountains, man. So pushing through this rough Tuesday.
Yeah, you make it sound like we were like hiking the mountains.
No.
We were in a sweet little cabin for a bachelor party.
Yeah, I mean, but it was basically like our livers were on a mega hike.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, man. So, how was your week, bro?
Pretty good. I mean, I guess we last saw each other 2 days ago. But
less than that. It was yesterday.
Yesterday.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, just got home, slept, had to get back to work. Had to take the pup to the vet this morning.
Same, bro. Not the vet situation, but had to get back to work, man. Missing half a day Friday and all day Monday, dude. I am freaking covered up, man. I hate this feeling. So, but good week overall. I mean, could have, it was nice to get away.
Yeah,
felt great up in the mountain. I guess we brought it back with us because it felt great here. You know?
It was pretty hot out today, at least in Shelbyville. I wasn't
out doing some
here,
yard man.
Work, yeah.
It was fairly cool. Maybe I just didn't go out into the sun. There wasn't much humidity. I think is what what I meant, which is basically the same thing as being cool here in Tennessee. So,
all right, don't check us out on What a Maneuver to get all the apparel you need on Patreon and YouTube.
Everything you need to know about what's happening on the ice. It's time for news from inside the boards.
We've got a trade. We've got Minnesota Wild will receive Marcus Johansson. Buffalo receives Eric Stahl. Not a bad trade.
Yeah, I mean, pretty straight up. Kind of interested to see, what happens with this. I mean, Stahl traditionally plays the center role, whereas Johansson plays a wing. Is that accurate to say?
I believe so. Yeah.
I mean, obviously Buffalo could use some center depth for sure. Not a world breaking trade, but I feel pretty straight up. It's not seemingly one sided early on, with the other team getting some future type of stuff. It seems straight up. Just like a decent trade as far as what the teams need.
Yeah.
Nothing world breaking though.
They did announce the award winners, which we will talk about later. So let's just go ahead and move on.
Now that you know what's happening inside the boards, time for the rest of the headlines with news from outside the boards.
Flying through this episode, dude.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, I think we had even discussed it being a shorter episode. We just can never tell how long we're going to talk about specific topics. So we don't want to promise anything.
For sure.
But we don't have any pop culture for the folks today. So should go through it pretty quick.
Maybe starting next week or week after, we'll start our discussion on the Matrix. So that'll probably eat up a good bit of time, and hockey will be over. We'll be over with it by next week. So have to fill some time.
Yeah, and we keep losing hockey talk because teams keep moving on and advancing. So definitely.
All right. So NFL Week 2 happened. Crazy Week 2. Honestly, one of the craziest weeks of the NFL I've seen in a long time. We're going to talk about the injuries. We're going to talk about winners and losers. But let's talk about biggest surprises this week. What do you got?
I have Josh Herbert. He had to go in and play. He didn't get any first team reps all week, but Tyrod Taylor was having some chest issues on game day, and so he got the start. man, he looked pretty good.
Yeah.
They gave the Chiefs a run for their money for sure. And it took Harrison Butker kicking 3 50-plus yard field goals in order to win. And only one of them counted. So yeah, I got Josh Herbert and the Chargers for sure, looking like a potential team of the future.
Yeah. I've got Ryan Tannehill, dude. For the longest time, it seems like Derrick Henry was the anchor of that team. Ryan Tannehill is showing that he is not the same Ryan Tannehill from 3 or 4 years ago that jumped teams. He is a solid QB1 in this league. I'm the kind of guy I was always hesitant to draft him in fantasy leagues. He's a stud, and I think he's going to be a stud for a while.
Bobby, you know how much I love saying this, but I told you so.
Yeah.
So, you know how much I love to say it.
You can't blame people for not truly trusting Ryan Tannehill for so long.
We had that conversation. I mean, it wasn't like I was dead sold. He's a superstar in this league for sure. But I mean, I felt like he was going to give us another good season. I mean, you know my feeling on Mr. B-Hole, Mr. Gase up in New York. He is a bad football coach, and he doesn't get the best out of his player. He's the anti-Bill Belichick, which is maybe why everybody in the AFC East keeps hiring him, because they're like, he doesn't do things like Belichick does, so let's bring him in the fold. You know, I mean, it's just he doesn't get things from – I mean, he's going to ruin – Sam Darnold's career, just like he ruined Ryan Tannehill's career. I mean, I just think that Arthur Smith, Mike Vrabel, they have a great game plan. And this Jacksonville team is better than we thought they were going to be. And they got this win and another last second field goal by Gostowski without AJ Brown. So, yeah. I mean, yeah, Derrick Henry is, your rock, your centerpiece, but you got to have a quarterback to be able to take you and win. And I feel like Ryan Tannehill is that position, is that guy. Yeah. And
I liked what I saw to Gardner Minshew.
Yeah,
week.
He's great.
Before the season started, a lot of people thought that Jacksonville would be tanking for Trevor Lawrence. Not if Gardner Minshew has anything to say about it, dude. I mean, he is
football.
Solid.
The only real sport that I feel that you can adequately tank is basketball.
I feel like you can do it in baseball too.
It's hard to. I mean, I guess you could tank in baseball, but like my thing is with basketball is you can have a game plan that makes it easier to tank without it looking like it.
Yeah.
You're not going to have any of these baseball players. They're not going to come up and strike out on purpose to help out the owner so they can get a better pick because that's going to hurt them long term. But I mean, 11 on 11 with football. I mean, these guys are so good that it's any given play they could score or they can make a huge defensive play. It is something that I mean, even if the team does their best to tank, it's hard. Yeah. I mean, these guys are not going to go out. I mean, especially a guy like Minshew, who is, if the tank happens, then he loses his job, you know? So, I mean, I think he's going to give it everything.
I mean, if a team really wanted to tank, there is somebody in New York they could just hire. Yeah. Would tank the season for them.
I mean, you go out and you hire Adam Gase or I hire Matt Nagy, I mean, you can get yourself some L's if you want. But I mean, Jay Gruden is a great football coach, in my opinion. He was stuck in Washington. I mean, he did his damnedest and didn't complain about it the whole time he was there. But I think he's a good football coach. And honestly, as you said, I think that Minshew is a quarterback of the future. I don't think that I don't think you pass up on Trevor Lawrence if you get the chance. But I don't think that their biggest problem is a quarterback, in my opinion. Do we have some biggest, I guess, losers or,
obviously,
I feel like that phrasing is bad. biggest bust,
biggest
letdown. Letdown is the perfect phrase for this,
because it's not just, we could easily pick the worst guy on the team,
right? And so you want to go ahead and give yours first? Yeah,
so
go ahead.
Drew Brees, listen, he gets the yards, but that's not what you're looking for really with Drew Brees, because you know he's going to get the yards, and this isn't just for fantasy. This is, I mean, they lost the game. Yeah, the Raiders. But here's the thing: the Raiders looked good.
Yeah, I mean, John Gruden finally able to kind of work his magic in there. I mean, he's a great football coach.
The Walrus went. I mean, my God! Every time he touched the ball. I mean, I don't understand how they let him get open so often, dude. The dude's a monster of a man.
I think that when he comes off the line, he just moves his elbows outward, and then you can't be within a 15 feet radius of him. You know,
but yeah. So this week he went 26 for 38, 312 yards, and 1 touchdown. He's not looking like Drew Brees. I think that age is catching up with him. I don't think he's got many years left. I don't think he thinks he has many years left. I think he even said that this could be his last year, and I think it should be.
It is amazing how much we as fans, fantasy players, whatever, expect from Drew Brees, that you can throw 312 yards and be a big letdown of the week. But that's what Drew Brees has established for us. I mean, that's not a bad call at all.
If he had thrown 250 yards and 3 touchdowns, all right, that maybe wins you the game. But you're not just the guy throwing the ball; you're also the lead guy in the huddle. You're the game manager. You're the guy making sure you get in the end zone. I mean, and if you can't get in the end zone when you need to be, then you're not doing your job.
Yeah, no, I agree, and especially, I mean, like you said, the Raiders are looking good, and I mean, maybe they were excited to be able to play in Las Vegas.
Like that interception he threw, that interception he threw last night was completely unacceptable. He just didn't get enough air under it. That's not Drew Brees that we know.
Yeah.
That's a 2016 Ryan Tannehill move he made. I mean,
that's a anybody playing for Adam Gase move.
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely want to see more from the Saints for sure. And if this is his last year, I think that sets up perfectly for Jameis Winston to be a force in this league.
Yeah.
I think with some good good coaching, he can do it. I'll be interested to see what happens with that. He's only on a 1-year deal. But my biggest letdown is, and I want to be very clear, this is no fault of his own, but Saquon Barkley, man, that is terrible to hear. He's out for the year with an ACL. He had 1 catch for like 6 yards and like 10 yards rushing or something like that. That hurts you, man. That hurts you to see, fantasy or no fantasy. I mean, you remember his rookie season, how much fun he was to watch play football.
Yeah.
Imagine being like, I want to watch the Giants game, you know?
Yeah.
And so I
think without him, the Giants go back to being unwatchable, dude.
Yeah. I mean, Danny Dimes has his moments. He did not have a good game yesterday, though, or Sunday, though. But yeah, man, it sucks for Saquon. It is a sad injury for the NFL and as a whole. Fantasy owners of Saquon, they never really got to see. I mean, I remember you could be going into the fourth quarter with him having 2 fantasy points, and then fourth quarter hits and he busts off a 70-yard long run, and then all of a sudden you got 28 points, and so that was a big letdown. Obviously, again, no, it wasn't just him letting the team down. That injury just really.
And what's wild is the play before he got injured. He got a little banged up his elbow. That would have put anybody else out of the game.
Yeah, and so it was kind of a back-to-back situation. Sucks to see. We're actually moving into injuries, and that was the first one on our list.
So when we're going to move into some injuries, this is probably the most injuries. I haven't done the research yet, but this is probably the most injuries I've ever seen.
Before you start with the injuries, I guess that kind of brings up a question I wanted to ask you. Do you think that the lack of preseason games and lack of tackling drills within training camp we were watching Red Zone on Sunday, and it was just this person's injured, this person's injured, this person's injured, and it was just continuous.
1,000%.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those sports. It's got to be in game shape.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think that they had not just no preseason, a short off season.
Yeah.
So they come in here. A lot of these guys, listen, I know these guys are pros, but let's be honest here. I've watched enough Hard Knocks, seen enough behind the scenes stuff. These guys aren't practicing on their own like they are at the facility with coaches all down their neck.
Well, it's impossible to do.
Yeah, they're not hydrating enough. Even no matter how hard you hydrate, if you don't have someone there with pumping electrolytes into you after everything, you're not going to be hydrated enough going into the season. And the hydrating doesn't just start the day of the game. The hydrating starts 6 months before game time.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, so they're not hydrated enough. They haven't gotten enough reps in. I mean,
well, and the thing is with this is it's not just that guy's a lower paid guy. And so I understand why that guy doesn't have a home gym or a training regimen. I mean, he doesn't make that kind. But we're talking about superstar. I mean, this list that you're about to go through are guys that, look, you should be able to afford to be
young
great.
Guys.
Yeah. Youth. I mean, and you can understand more of the youth because they're rookie contracts. They're not getting as much money, but we got some guys in here that it's like you're making a lot of money, man. Yeah. And I'm not saying any of them were unprepared, but it just seems as though that they might be. Yeah, I think that's a big thing.
And I really will say that football is a hard game. In many aspects, it's a dangerous game.
That's what she
Yeah.
said.
It's a dangerous game. The fact that they pretty much put these players at a disadvantage, but didn't do anything to help them in game. They didn't implement anything like, hey, we're going to give you an extra 5-10 minutes at halftime.
Well, still 53-man rosters.
Yeah.
I mean,
like we're going to, or how about between rather than just, okay, we're going to flip the field at the end of the first quarter. Let's give them a TV timeout, an extra TV timeout.
Well, they have plenty of those.
Well, yeah, but just so, and listen, I would hate it as a viewer. I would hate it. But man, you can't just. It kills me. The NFL thinks that they can just throw these guys into the fire and not expect something like this to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
and they probably thought, "Oh, week 1 was great. Well, what happens next week? We're going to start seeing more guys drop off,
slower and slower." Yeah, I agree.
So Saquon Barkley tore his ACL. His season's over. The prognosis is that he will be. Our prognosis says he will be back strong next season. So if you,
I mean, that's obviously a possibility. It's really early.
Well, that's just what
Dude
the team
hasn't
is
started
saying.
his rehab yet.
Yeah, that's what the team is saying. Tyrod Taylor was briefly hospitalized with trouble breathing. He's listed as week to week, but according to Andy Lynn, he wants him to just get out there and throw the damn ball.
Yeah, talk about another guy that I think is a bad football coach. Yeah. Anthony Lynn.
Listen, I like him as a guy. Well,
yeah,
I watch Hard Knocks.
He's a really
great
good
person.
Guy.
He's not a good football coach. Dude, Josh Herbert went out there and killed it. And you're just, with the proper response is, well, we're going to be looking at it. We're going to be looking at tape. We'll let you know. Not come out like, oh, he's our starter one way or another. Like, that's not how the game works, man.
It would be different to me completely if Tyrod Taylor lit it up last week and, now he's our starter. He's our veteran presence. He played a horrendous football game last week. Your rookie that you spent a really high draft pick on just came out and not only did a great job for a individual playing his first NFL game.
Almost beat the reigning champs.
But did a great job. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that guy is a beast of a man.
Yeah. Tyrod Taylor would not have had Kansas City on the ropes.
No, he wouldn't. I mean, he would have had them on the ropes for when they were throwing pick sixes and they were jumping up onto the ropes, So I 100% agree. I mean, that's bad football coaching. And I hate that. We're not talking about a world back in the day where you don't play rookies because they're not ready for the NFL. Guys are more and more ready coming out of college football. College football is preparing guys for the NFL. And to say, oh, well, this guy's a rookie, we're not playing because he's a rookie. That is why Bill Belichick has won so many championships, because I'm playing the best guy. That's why Pete Carroll is a Super Bowl winning coach. It doesn't matter to me he's a rookie or he's not a rookie. I'm playing the guy that is the best suited for us to win football games.
Yeah. Christian McCaffrey injured his ankle, 4 to 6 weeks out. Whew, that's That one hurts a lot of fantasy. I mean, I'm sure the last one not so much, but the first and this one hurt a lot of fantasy owners.
At least he might be coming back.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, the Saquon thing was like he's a pick after McCaffrey, and he's gone for the year now. So, I mean, obviously, CMC getting hurt hurts a lot of folks. But I mean,
and knowing CMC, he might be back. He could be back in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, he's already rehabbed. He's already played a second game now, this past week.
I know what my answer is. In 3 weeks, he comes back. Are you starting him no matter what? Is he an automatic start?
Is it a high ankle sprain?
I think it is.
High ankle sprain, I would say, depends on my options. It is one of those situations where there's a high likelihood that on your fantasy roster, you don't have anybody that it's worth taking a chance of not playing him. Yeah. Does that make sense? I mean, there are going to be some rosters where you have a really good option and you won't feel bad if CMC goes off for the chance that he might not. Every roster, most of them are not going to have somebody that you would feel, because basically it's the selling point.
Yeah.
Is this guy worth putting in, or am I going to be mad at myself? Kind of like what I talked about last week. Am I going to be mad at myself for trying to get too cute with my roster and not playing CMC?
Yeah, for me, Christian McCaffrey, he's getting played. If he's active, he's getting played.
Yeah.
Like, he's too much of a force. Broncos lost quarterback Drew Lock to an injured shoulder and wide receiver Cortland Sutton to a torn ACL. I believe Sutton is done for the year. I'm not 100% sure on that one. He's out for the rest of the Cortland Sutton's done for the season.
That hurts, man, because I was expecting Drew Lock to have a great season. And for those of you that have some shares in Jerry Jeudy and obviously Cortland Sutton.
And for the one guy that drafted Drew Lock.
Sutton. Yeah, I mean, I got Drew Lock on a lot of rosters on late drafts. Like, I believed in him, and he looked really good week 1 against a tough Titans defense, and he looked good up until the point where he got hurt. But that hurt because Jeff Driscoll's the backup there. So that is not looking good for a Broncos team that were definitely going to be fun to watch. Melvin Gordon has looked pretty good. He looked immensely better without Phillip Lindsay there taking reps. I think Royce Freeman is a great compliment to him, whereas Phillip Lindsay is the same style of running back to him. But I mean, it just overall hurts your entire game plan when you have Driscoll in over Drew Lock. So.
Yeah. And now we've got pretty much the entire San Francisco 49ers. We got quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, a high ankle sprain. Raheem Mostert, a sprained MCL. Defensive end Nick Bosa and lineman Solomon Thomas to torn ACLs, and they are both done. Whew.
Yeah, but I mean, Mostert got you your 80-yard touchdown before you. I mean, it's going to make, and the funny part is one of the best, maybe not necessarily fantasy running backs, but one of the actual best running backs for his team in the NFL goes out, and there is still no clear picture of who's going to be the running back in San Francisco with Tevin Coleman and Jerick McKinnon. And they have so many options, and this is why Shanahan loves the multiple running backs, because any given week, one of them can have a great game. So, that hurts. And obviously Jimmy G going out is, I mean, that man can't stay healthy, can he? He has looked like a boss when he gets a good opportunity, or at very least a great game manager, and it just sucks to see for the, former NFC reigning champs to have such a host of injuries this early. And that sucks.
Rookie Cam Akers, torn rib cartilage, no prognosis yet. And Paris Campbell, he's got a PCL and MCL injury. He's out indefinitely. I believe they actually, since I wrote this, they put him on the IR, and he's done for the season.
Yeah, I think Cortland Sutton's on the IR as well, from what I've seen. Yeah. So sucks, man. I mean, that's the nature of the game, and usually we're talking about big injuries, but we're not talking about this many injuries this early.
No.
These big style of injuries.
After record, I got to get home. This might be the biggest waiver wire day, like in my fantasy football history, dude. Like I've got 7 leagues I've got to go through and look at so much different scoring, fab. I mean, it's just who knows what's going on. But all right, so moving to what we're mainly talking about today, Stanley Cup Finals, Stars and Lightning are tied up 1-1. The Stars looked really good. Both teams looked really good in their respective wins. A lot of people came out saying they thought the Stars were going to come out and sweep after that first performance. Man, there is nothing like sport overreaction the day after.
That next day, you were asking me, you're like, what do you think about that guy that bet all that money on the Stars sweeping? I was like, well, it's game 1. Yeah, I mean, no, this is a great series. These teams match up well. I think both of them have had a similar style of defensive play. I mean, it seems like the Lightning have a more potent offense, but you never know what the Stars are going to give you from game to game. Man, well, this is a good series, and you know how we feel in this podcast. No Central winning the Cup, so go Lightning, right? Even though your boy Jarvis and me hate each other. So, what are you thinking? What's going to be the X factor in this series, man?
Goaltending.
Yeah, I was about to say that's the easy answer. Yeah,
whichever team can get pucks in deep and play the boards and get gritty. Man,
score more goals than the other team, you're gonna win.
Yeah, honestly, I think the X factor is whether or not Braden Point can stay hot.
Yeah,
if Braden Point stays hot, I think Tampa takes this. If he starts to cool off, which man, you would have to think it had to happen soon, but it hasn't happened since game 1 of the first round. So I don't think he is going to cool down until next season.
I would have to say mine external from goaltending. I mean, which is the obvious answer. Better goaltending wins more games. I would say how the defenses hold up against teams that have seemingly been able to score at will against the other teams that they've played. I mean, it's not like the Dallas Stars are winning games 2-1. I mean, they beat the Avalanche in games 7-4, 6-4. So they can score. I think it's going to be a big factor of how each team's defense kind of comes to play. So,
all right. So we are going to be talking about the awards. They all got announced. So
not great for me, Bob. Yeah. Not great for me.
You got your 2 points on a technicality.
I'll take it.
So let's go through. I'll go through real quick. The Hart Trophy, as we kind of expected after making our predictions, was Leon Draisaitl. Let's see. He came up with Nathan McKinnon was in second place. Artemi Panarin was in third. You've got the Calder. It was Cale Makar with Quinn Hughes in second and Dominic Kubalik in third and Adam Fox in fourth. Didn't do too great in the playoffs.
He got me a solid 0, Bobby. So
Ted Lindsay went to Leon Draisaitl. The Vezina, Connor Hellebuyck. I thought for sure Tuukka had it. I don't like that pick.
Fan. Yeah. Not a fan of a lot of these picks. Well, I wasn't a fan of a lot of the finalists.
Ones that you didn't call?
Well, no. I mean, I was pretty much done after the. But a lot of the finalists, like even guys that I didn't pick, it seemed like, that guy was much more deserving as a finalist for the Vezina. Like Hellebuyck winning the Vezina, I felt like that was a little crazy.
Yeah, it's like this year they just put all their basket in shutouts.
Yeah, I mean,
like it's all their eggs in the shutout basket.
Yeah, it was a lot of interesting choices.
So for Norris, Roman Josi won it, baby.
Yeah. Hey, like I said, I didn't pick him. I was more than happy to lose this battle if that meant Roman Josi got 65
points. And he is, according to CBS NHL, the best defensive player in the world. So, which I guess that a trophy makes it legit, but
in the league, I mean, there's not too many leagues of hockey out there that are like, oh, well, you got to watch out for Joe show and so over in the
KHL.
Yeah, the KHL. Like, do they even play defense in the KHL? They just have 3 forwards that face each other, and if it crosses mid ice, you just let them score if they can.
But we'll go through our predictions again. I won our prediction battle, which I don't even, did we say it was a water bet, or were we just?
Since you're asking, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. I think we have punishment involved. I think it's a wheel of punishment offer, which we still have not created the wheel.
So, so for the cup, I had the Bruins lost, Hart, Nathan McKinnon lost, the Calder, which I won, Cale Makar, Vezina lost because I had Bishop, Norris I won because of Roman Yossi, Art Ross I had McDavid, the Selke, Bergeron, Jack Adams I had Torts, which I think. Oh, I didn't even.
You didn't even go through who won the Art Ross.
Oh, I think they already announced that. Bruce Cassidy won the Bruins won the Jack Adams.
Who won the Selke?
That was Sean Couturier. It wasn't on the website that I was just looking at, but I saw Sean Couturier won the Selke. GM of the year. I don't. Hold on a second.
That was the Islanders.
That's right.
Yeah. We talked about that last week actually, because we were both very surprised.
Yeah, I had John Chayka. And if you want to give us your predictions,
I had for my cup pick, I had Pittsburgh. Not great on that one, Bob. Doubled down on Nathan McKinnon. I don't feel bad about that one. Quinn Hughes for the Calder, didn't feel bad about that one. Bennington for the Vezina, missed that. Feel great about it, him not winning it. So, Norris, I had Carlson, Art Ross, McDavid, Selke, I had Ryan O'Reilly, Jack Adams, I had Travis Green, Vancouver coach, Rocket Richard, I got some mercy points with my boy Pasta. And the GM of the year, I had Jarmo Kekalainen, the Blue Jackets GM. So didn't do too great. I got a couple pity points from the crowd, but basically, if we're being real, because technically Pasta didn't even win the Rocket Richard, I actually offered on that. So our rule on this podcast. I think this is actually, though, the first real thing that you've won. So congratulations.
Speaking of wins, I did win the Middle Earth Battle Royale by 2 votes.
By 2 votes. And that's the thing. That's a fake thing. And so we always expect you to win the fake things that we can't prove.
Either though, that now that I've won, I can say I would have voted for you, dude. Your team.
My team was stout.
Having both Gandalfs is solid.
My team was so stout, dude.
Yeah.
Shelob was, I feel like
I sometimes forget the deep lore that Shelob was the ex-wife of Sauron. That's
the biggest thing for me is I feel like a lot of people were just voting without going into the lore of it.
So funny because majority of the votes, all of the votes that matter, because I think on Twitter we got like 7 on our group Facebook page. We didn't get a lot. Where we got the most votes was the big Lord of the Rings Unexpected podcast group that I put it into.
Really?
Yeah, I put it in there, and I think we got like 36 votes, and I edged out. And I think it has to do with people. Really, they like Bjorn. They love the character of Bjorn.
Yeah.
So I think that's. And honestly, so many people believe that Galadriel is just such a hard hitter that she can do that because a lot of because I was talking to people, everyone's like, well, Shelob's can't be beaten. I'm like, well, you would have to think that Galadriel is the one who made the thing that beat her, beat her.
Normally, when I hear that you've beat me in some sort of poll or something like that, I usually roll my eyes because I'm like, your team was trash. I don't know how it happened. This is one that I didn't feel bad about losing. I really dropped the ball on missing Galadriel.
I think we both dropped it because I could have not taken Bjorn and taken Gandalf and pretty much could have wiped the floor with your team.
Yeah. Well, and you're thinking I picked Galadriel. You said that, and my biggest thing was I picked the Witch King with that number 1 pick, and then you got those 2 picks in a row. You said if you would have had first pick, you would if you would have had first pick, I wouldn't have taken the Witch King. You wouldn't have taken the Witch King. And so I probably could have doubled up on a couple of them and taking you to the woodshed. And I also think that I think my Dane pick hurt me. I felt like I needed some hand-to-hand combat type of deal, and I really just thought you were going to take. You know how I get like that, man, where I just don't want you to get something.
You get in your own head a little bit.
Yeah. So, but it was a good battle, but I don't feel too bad about losing that one. Congratulations to you.
A lot of people also said Thranduil was a decider, because obviously like the Magic stuff was but having Thranduil on the team.
Well, I think I could have got Thranduil on my team if I'd have had that second pick and still got got basically doubled up on a lot of the picks that I wanted and still got my main picks that I needed. Yeah. So all good. Good battle.
All right, time for joke of the week.
The weird. Corey Perry. I don't like that. Wild. I think the first read was a good one. Now I'm overthinking it. Outlandish.
Each sixth chick sat on a stick. Little tongue twister.
And downright dumb.
You're kidding me.
It's time for the joke of the week.
All right, we got Philly. Just being Philly. Carson Wentz gets booed despite Eagles having no fans in the stadium.
Yeah, that's pretty Philly. I mean, that sounds about right. Was it just pumped in booze?
Yeah. So after a failed third down throw, fans could be heard booing their quarterback. So yeah, we've got a video here from Twitter. It's from @NotSC Top 10 Plays. So
Wentz too tall for Zach Ertz, and now fourth down. Bring the punt team back on for the Eagles. John Johnson out there in the coverage.
Those boos are from an empty stadium from being pumped in, and that wasn't the only one.
Once down 21-3 in this game. Wentz off play action, looking for the end zone, and it's intercepted. Darius Williams with a diving kick in front of J.J. Arthur-Whiteside.
People just surrounded Philly Stadium, and they're just like, get ready. They tell us to boo. We're booing.
That last one was from @Thomas P93. We might get copyrighted for some of those, but screw it. We'll edit those out.
It was on Twitter.
Yeah,
and we didn't play more than 30 seconds of it, and we're not making any money. What are you gonna sue us for, bro? You're gonna take. We're suing you for the joke of the week segment. Like, bro, that's owned by James Dolan. Okay. All right. So you can have it if you really want it. We'll just, we're like Michael Scott. We have no shortage of segment names, and we'll name a segment after you if you come after us. Okay.
But all right. So we got some questions from the internet. If you could pick any sidekick, who would it be?
Man, this is such a tough.
Because I feel like there are some easy ones out there.
Yeah.
But like
a lot of people would go with Robin. I personally am not a pedophile. I'm not a pedophile, so I'd never go with him.
Like, no. Like, I always thought, listen, I like Batman. I always thought it was sketchy that he gave Robin
some small kid. Yeah.
Dude, wear these tights. Like,
it's weird.
Like, these offer no, like, why do you get armor and I get like spandex?
Now, if this is not my choice, but I do want to see your thought process on it. Alfred is the sidekick.
Yeah,
that'd be the money right there.
That would be the money.
Only if it's Michael Caine though. Michael Caine Alfred is the Alfred dude.
Yeah. Or the Alfred. You haven't seen this from the Harley Quinn show. He's a dope Alfred. You have to watch it. He's pretty much he's a smart ass that just talks shit to Bruce Wayne all the time.
Is his name Michael Caine?
No.
Then he's not the best Alfred. Okay, so let me hit you with one, and it probably is not a very popular one. Charles Boyle from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Dude, think about how hype Jake Peralta, Andy Samberg's character, feels all the time, dude. Boyle freaking loves that dude so much. He's such a good sidekick. There are many times that he does things at his own expense to prop up Jake Peralta. So I think that he's a really, really good sidekick option that's probably not thought of by a lot of people.
Yeah. I'm trying to I don't know. I think I kind of know who I would go with, and I want to try not to do like the easy ones like Chewbacca.
Yeah.
But I think,
man, that's a top guy though.
I mean, R2-D2 wouldn't be a bad one.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call him a sidekick, though. Like, I mean, I guess in Clone Wars, he was more sidekicky. Throughout the movies, he was more of just like a supporting.
Would you say
character.
then C-3PO is a sidekick?
No.
R2-D2?
I would say, yes, I would say those two are a pairing of like, C-3PO is definitely the sidekick of those two.
Hear this one out.
Okay.
George Costanza.
Yeah.
Would he be considered a sidekick?
Yeah, I would say he's
No,
most
he's not my
certainly.
pick.
Right. No, I mean, but we're just talking now. I would say yes. He would definitely be considered a sidekick. Now, basically, I guess we're just getting each other's opinions on if this person's a sidekick or not. Let me hit you with this. Tyrion Lannister.
Would he be the No, Braun's the sidekick.
Well,
though.
Braun was his sidekick when he was in power, but like from every point before that and after that, Tyrion was always kind of like a sidekick that kind of knew that.
I don't think being Hand of the Queen constitutes a sidekick.
Yeah.
Because like you're like, I don't know, like I
mean, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'll hear you out. You know,
I wouldn't give him the role sidekick.
If we're being honest, though, I would say that the hand of the king or queen is the ultimate sidekick. You are like literally the sidekick to the number one dude.
So when I think sidekick, I think like they're not making many of their own decisions.
Let me ask you this: is Ned Stark not Robert Baratheon's sidekick? Because I would say that he.
No, I would not say Ned Stark was Robert Baratheon's sidekick.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily.
I would say a brother in arms. Like I wouldn't say sidekick. No, not for Ned Stark. Now, hear me out. Which one of these two guys are the sidekick? Because I think one of them is Woody or Buzz. Which one's the sidekick? I think Buzz is the sidekick.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Initially, Buzz came into the Toy Story world and tried to assert his dominance.
Didn't go well.
And it didn't go well. I mean, it's very clear that Woody is the leader of the crew. Buzz, everybody was like digging on him and stuff, but the dude didn't even know he was a toy. So like, it was like, hey buddy, you're a toy. All right. Yeah. So Woody for sure is the alpha, and Buzz would be the sidekick in my mind.
I think a dope sidekick would be Genie from Aladdin. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I don't
consider him a sidekick.
No, he's an all-powerful being. I mean, he is like I wouldn't say he's like the main guy, but like I wouldn't call him Aladdin's sidekick.
Would that be the monkey?
Abu, yeah. Abu's definitely a sidekick.
I would not choose him.
Yeah,
sidekick.
I mean, he's a dope sidekick if we're being honest. There's so many great choices.
Like now, I just want to keep doing this. Is Spock Captain Kirk's sidekick or is Spock?
I'm not a Trekkie, so I'm not going to speak to it. Let me hit you with this, and this is actually going to roll into one of my answers for one of the next cards. Gerald from Hey Arnold, dude. You consider him a sidekick?
Yeah, I think they do enough like little quests and like little adventures.
Chucky from Rugrats, he's a dope sidekick.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not like he's a good guy. I mean, he's not a great sidekick. Yeah. He was never down for Tommy's stuff.
So let's get to our answers. My sidekick is John Watson.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty standard.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, he is like the quintessential sidekick. There's no question that he's a sidekick, and he's dope, and he's a friggin' doctor. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would say that's a great choice.
Now, if I wanted straight comic relief, like the sidekick that will always make me laugh, Donkey from Shrek.
Ooh, that is a really good call. I think I'm going to stick with my initial thought process, though, even though, I mean, because we're not voting on these, so it's not like I got to go with somebody that lots of folks know. I'm going to go with Charles Boyle for sure. I think that he would be an awesome sidekick, you know, as long as we're not like fighting. But like, I mean, even so, I mean, the dude's taking bullets for his buddies and not even his hero, Jake Peralta. So I'm going to go with Charles Boyle. I think that he's a good choice, but Dr. John Watson is a great choice as well.
Yeah. Also, Lockheed from the X-Men universe. He's a dragon. Would be a dope one.
Yeah, that's like I find it hard for you to be a sidekick if you're a dragon.
True. Morty would be what do you think? Do you think Morty would be a cool sidekick to have, or
I
not?
mean, he complains too much. He is a sidekick by the technical term,
yeah.
but no, he is just dude. Like you get to go
What if you
all across the
What
universe.
if you had your access to any of the Mortys from the?
Yeah,
when they took over the council.
So I would say it would have to be the cop Morty. That's essentially the Rick of the
not the
Rick
dictator
and Morty.
Yeah.
And I guess we can kind of go back to, if we're talking about just sidekicks. I'm so sorry we keep going on this. We said short episode, but when we talk 45 minutes about sidekicks, I would say that one obvious choice that we both missed, Samwise Gamgee, dude. He was a sidekick for sure. I don't know about the best, but he was definitely a sidekick.
All right, so let's move on to the next one. Kind of good little transition. What are the top 3 90s Nickelodeon shows that would hold up today?
Yeah, I already kind of mentioned my first. I think Hey Arnold is a no question. Yeah. It would work today. I think if you showed your young child or niece or nephew the Hey Arnold show, that they would love it. So that'll definitely be one of mine. For sure.
So, King of the Hill, first off.
Yeah, I don't know that that's a 90s Nickelodeon.
Oh, did it say? It did say
Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon.
Did say Nickelodeon. I mean, and I'll accept like a, like a Disney cartoon if that you have some, but we can't go with like adult humored animation.
Right. Then X-Men was I'm still watching now. It was on Disney. It was a Disney cartoon. It was a dope. I mean, one of the best intro songs ever, dude.
Yeah, never got into it.
Yeah, so. Dude, you just check out the first couple. I mean, watch it a little bit. It's really it's really cool. A lot of like that meme of like Wolverine like on the bed with the paint with the picture is from that. Yeah. Colossus is really cool in it. Recess.
Yeah, Recess is great. I really enjoyed. I always used to when we did. Like Spirit Week, and we did like movie or TV show characters. You dressed up as them, for Spirit Week. I always did TJ Detweiler because the dude just wears this like a greenish jacket with like a white shirt and a red hat. And I basically just wanted to wear a hat in school. And so somebody came at me and was like, hey, wait, like you're not dressed up as a character. I'm like, yeah, it's your boy, TJ Detweiler. Okay. So that's a great call. One of the world's greatest snitches, Randall, dude. That show had the snitch. Rugrats is obviously a pretty top choice for me, and they like continued on. They had multiple movies and like different versions of the show.
Rugrats go to college,
all grown up. Yeah,
Rugrats. Tommy gets addicted to coke.
Yeah, they had that. That was, and Chucky, nowhere to be found, dude. Worst sidekick ever. I also want to say Cat Dog.
Yeah.
Cat Dog really held up for me. I don't know if this one will hold up across the ages. Rocket Power, dude.
I was going to be my next one, dude. I
loved Rocket Power.
It was one of the few that I would always like watch, dude.
Yeah, that one's a great one. I'll tell you a couple that
Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, I was about to say that's one of the ones that I was not a fan of. I didn't like the Angry Beavers either. I was not an Angry Beaver guy.
I'm having trouble remembering the Angry Beavers.
Yeah, it was just some Angry Beavers. So, yeah, there's a lot of great cartoons that we had growing up, and I'll tell you one that probably didn't get a lot of love, and it was only on for a few seasons. I fairly enjoyed the Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius.
Oh yeah,
show. I thought that was a pretty good
Real
good
Monsters
show.
Was dope.
Didn't like Real Monsters either. I was not a fan of that. A lot of people love Animaniacs, and I was just also not a fan. I never really got into it. But I would definitely say Hey Arnold, Rugrats are on my list, and I would probably think that my third would need to be Rocket Power. I love that show so much. So what about you? Do you have your 3 nailed down, or you want to keep discussing?
So yeah, X-Men. I think you were Nixon, King of the Hill.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
So let's do X-Men, Gargoyles. Dope show. And then, I'm trying to think of another one. Oh man, let's go. Because I'm trying. Like, I didn't watch a crap ton of like children's cartoons. Like I didn't watch like Dragon Ball Z and shit. When I was a kid. You've got rocket power. Don't want to take one of yours. Let's go. Wild Thornberries.
Okay. I am actually extremely jealous. That is a really dope show in my mind. I really enjoyed that show. I do want to throw a couple out there that were basically honorable mentions, and one should be on my top 3. Dexter's Laboratory, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Dexter's Laboratory was that money. I don't think that we can go through this stuff without talking about Doug.
Yeah.
I feel like Doug is great. Johnny Bravo had its moments.
Samurai Jack.
I never
Not
really got into
but
that.
Daria was always fun to watch.
Daria was more of the Beavis and Butthead style.
Not adult. He was more teenage comedy.
If we want to go a lot younger, like when you're a little kid, Arthur kind of slapped, dude. You know, he's the aardvark, dude. He's got a sister, DW.
I don't think I ever watched that.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good options and some that we didn't go through, but I feel like we've hit on the major options that we have.
So let's make a massive change then to the next question.
Okay.
When you know you're not supposed to be looking at someone's boobs, does it make it harder not to look?
Yes, absolutely.
I would say it's situationally, but
for sure.
Yes.
Situationally for sure, but like if you're in like a HR meeting or something, and
and they're giving you a discussion about sexual harassment.
Yeah, so and so's got her titties hanging out. It's like, I know I'm not supposed to be looking, but what up, girl? No, I would say that it's more just like the mind portion of it. Like, I'm not supposed to look at this. Your mind's like, look, bro. Like, and so like, I feel like that is more of the situation, is that like if you tell yourself not to, then it makes it harder.
Yeah.
And is what it seems like in this situation,
Yeah. I think that goes with everything, dude. Not just boobs.
That's natural. That's natural human behavior. But at least looking at boobs is nice. I mean, that's it's a nice thing to do.
Yeah. So we're both yes on that. Time to move into some this or that.
Time to cast your vote. Vote your cast. Choose your pick. Pick your choice. Make a decision and take a side for this or that.
All right. I think we got a good one.
Yeah, this is a good one, but I feel like there's an obvious answer.
Is there?
Yep.
All right.
You want to go ahead and read it?
A mind reader and a person that can see in the future are going to play a game of chess. Would you rather bet on the mind reader or the person that sees the future? Tell me why you think it's obvious first, because I don't think it's obvious.
Yeah, I think you want to be able to see the future would be my...
But then wouldn't the mind reader know that you just saw the future and see what you see then?
Yeah, I mean, but under this argument, it's essentially a stalemate, because then nobody could ever make a move.
Well, to an extent.
But the guy that can see the future, the guy that can see the future can not look at the board and close his eyes. And then the mind reader is not able to determine what he's going to do. And then it's the guy who sees the future's turn. And then he can see the future based off of what he did that the other guy's
just
with
him closing his eyes, he's still thinking about the move he's about to make. It's not a vision. Like, now, listen, I agree with you. My vote was for the guy that can see the future, because here's the thing. If the guy that can see the future is just a really good liar, right, and if he can just really like do that thing where it's like, if you believe the lie, then he can fuck up the mind reader.
Well, the biggest thing is with the mind reader is that the guy who can tell the future, his mind is not made up until that other guy makes the move.
Yeah.
So knowing what the guy is thinking, but then you've also got the mind reader when
every time he's about to make a move, he knows if the other guy is comfortable with him making that move, he's happy with it. If he's
That's what I'm saying. You got to turn away and not even watch the other guys move, and that's the bigger thing.
Okay, I thought you were saying the guy with the future was closing his eyes before he made his own move. I'm like, that he does nothing.
No. He makes his move and then like turns away from the chessboard. So like then he isn't able to think about whether the next move is good or not. But the guy that can see the future, if it's his turn, he can see what the other move the guy is the mind reader is going to make, and then can prepare for that. It's a tough question for sure, but I feel like just seeing the future means that you already know, like anybody, like you said, can put anything in their mind. Like how good of a mind reader is he? Are we talking about Professor X? Or are we just talking about a guy that can just hear the immediate thoughts of what you want to do? It'd be a good battle for sure.
Yeah. All right. Time to move into some, what are you binging? Beer and more beer.
Yeah, I got beer as my drink of choice. I just threw down. I did not prep for this episode.
Me neither.
So I have football because that's always a good answer.
But I mean, I haven't. So since last week, I think the only TV I got to watch was like a little bit on the bachelor party before bed, and I was just watching the West Wing.
Oh yeah, you have been watching a little bit of West Wing,
and that's about the only thing I've been binging. A lot of our shows are over, like regular shows are over now. So, I mean, I think the wife and I might start binging some Big Brother to get into that fantasy league next year with you, dude.
Yeah, man. I missed Sunday's episode, so I had to call Stephanie and get a quick recap of what's happening. It's fun, man. I mean, it's not as far as like, I'm not that style of show guy. I don't really care. Is the biggest thing, but it's because I know that it's not just like a bunch of pre-recorded stuff that's happening. Like each week there's live shows on what's actually happening week to week. I mean, throw a competition in there for me and I'm always down for a good comp. So I mean, having the fantasy league and it's funny because at this point I enjoy watching it just as much as Stephanie does, but I call it her show. I'm like, hey, your show's about to come on. She
calls it your show to all of her friends.
Yeah, well, that's totally fine. It's more of an inside joke between us. She goes, it's our show. And I was like, no, if it becomes our show, then I have to turn it on when it comes on. And if it's your show, you have to turn it on. So, but it's nice. I enjoy even when football is happening, I give her the big TV and I'll watch the football game on my laptop. But it's fun, man. I'm excited for you guys to get involved with it. It should be a good time.
Yeah.
Bobby and Brandon are about to find out exactly what snaps their sticks.
Okay, so I guess it's me because you don't have a non-sports this week. Yeah. We allow each other to do that from time to time. Mine is, I just came up with mine right before the show, but I thoroughly enjoy my choice because it's so true to right now. That feeling when you have so much to do, but because you have so much to do and your mind's racing through a bajillion things, all you want to do is take a nap and just hope that you will wake up and 30% of that stuff that is on your list of things to do is just gone. Yeah. So, man, I'm just in that mode right now, missing that time at work. Dude, I'm just swamped and I need like 13 more hours in a day to kind of get everything that I need done. I'll be able to work a little bit of overtime these coming up days, but when we record, I don't work a lot of overtime. So I'm just kind of hoping that I can get myself caught up and feeling all right. I'm going to tell you though, Bobby, these few beers, they have done a fantastic job of just kind of clearing out my mind. So,
nice.
I appreciate the beer aspect of it. You have no non-sports, but what is your sports?
Pumped in crowd noise, dude. Listen, I appreciated the City of Brotherly Love giving us those boos pumped in, but overall, dude, it's just I don't like it, man. It just seems like
it doesn't go up and down as it should.
That and like sometimes it starts too late or just randomly just cuts off. Not to mention like it's empty. Like this is hopefully a once in a lifetime thing that we get to see.
Yeah.
These sports played in completely empty stadiums. Let's try to make this horrible thing that we're having to go through. Not the no fans, but just COVID in general. Let's give it a little bit of a silver lining. Let's experience these sports in silence a little bit.
I'm going to tell you, the biggest problem I've had with it is the commentators discussing how quiet it is and how you can hear guys' snap counts and everything that's going on in the field. But except for we can't. So like, why are you talking about it? You know, I mean, that's silly to me. Either don't talk about it or give us what dope thing you're getting, you know, like, cause they're talking about, so quiet. You can hear a pin drop type of, not us. We got to hear pumped in Philly booze. Okay. Yeah. That's a good one. And I think we talked about not wanting it to happen for any sport. We want to kind of get that natural feel to it. Football hasn't felt that much different than it normally would. The crowd doesn't generally play a huge factor for what you see at home on TV. So that's a good one. That's a really good one. Mine, it takes a bit of explanation. So when we went to this dope cabin this weekend, they had a 9-hole putt-putt course. We did a entire pregame show. We interviewed everybody. We made up fake breaking news stories about everyone. I lost the mini masters and it is snapping my stick.
What place did you come in?
I think I came in like 3rd or 4th. It doesn't matter. It wasn't first. Okay.
Yeah, I came in. Well, technically I came in 2nd because the 2nd place guy did not complete the trials, the beer trials.
It was, but all joking aside, I'm upset about losing it, but what a fun time. Like we got a lot of footage and I think that at some point you're going to kind of put that together. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, we had a black, and you know, it's one of those things where, you know, if you're a listener to this podcast and obviously you know me, Bobby, I would say eccentric is a good word to describe me sometimes. Like I want to do a lot of crazy things. And so like I figured that when I said I'm going to wake up a couple hours early and do a pregame show, I figured there's always one or two that are just like, oh, that's stupid. I'm not.
Yeah.
Everybody had so much fun doing it. I was so surprised about that. Like people got up and I'm waiting for their interview. And then, you know, somebody saw some things that, oh, well, that person brought in a fake sponsorship. And then like they go and they get their sunglasses and their hat and stuff. Big shout out to Brandon Boggs for winning the mini masters. Yeah. Honestly, he deserved to win. He killed it.
Yeah, starting off with a hole-in-one on hole
dominant. 1. We have walk-ins and everything. So it was more, it doesn't snap my stick as much as I just wanted to bring it up and discuss the mini masters. So yearly event for sure.
Yeah, it was a good time and we kept it under a good bit of time today. So we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Pucks Out Podcast. To see what other ridiculousness the guys are up to, check them out on Twitter and Instagram @PucksOutPod.